Good morning and really welcome to Friday. It is indeed a joy to be with you once again and to be able to share with you in these wonderful moments of great joy and peace, and to be able to say this morning, Happy Friday. It truly is a blessing to be with you. And I trust that the time that we spent together this morning will be in some way preparation for your future, for the times to come. For we are all building a foundation day by day, brick by brick. We are building for our tomorrow while enjoying and experiencing the journey of today. So I want this morning to be able to say to you that yes, we are all together. We are all in this thing together. And by the grace of God, we will journey through and we will bring our journeys, at least this leg of our journey, to completion in the most and the best possible way. So let us now bring ourselves into that wonderful space of divine presence, divine journeying, and come into a place of stillness, a place of peace, a place of true understanding of God's presence in our lives. And so we turn our attention away from our world and we see this now as our time to commune with God, the divine, the all that is, the universe. When we understand the universe to be a great source of life and light, filled with abundance, more than we can ever imagine. And in that sea of abundance, we take a deep breath of this air, this energy, and we draw it within ourselves. And we release from ourselves all that has been used up, exhausted. And we breathe in that divine love, that divine light, that divine peace, filling every part of our hearts with the divine love of God, that abundance, that unconditional, abundant love that requires no target, just an open heart to receive it. And we expel from there all that holds us back, all that keeps us weighted down, all that prevents us from soaring. Continue to breathe in the divine light, recognizing that this abundance is so grand that there is no breath that we can take that can contain it all. But we allow ourselves to expand. We allow that light to expand more and more as we go into this space, this wonderful, tremendous space of love. And we feel that abundance, we feel that love, that light filling us completely. This Friday, having exhausted ourselves for an entire week, we just release all that is holding us down all that is causing us to feel a sense of weariness. And as we find ourselves filled with this divine light and peace, mindful that we are connected with every grain of sand, with every molecule, with every atom in the universe, with every quartz, with every particle, being mindful of this tremendous connection with all that is. I want to invite us to bring into our consciousness this morning this reality that I am connected to everything in this entire multiverse. I am separate from nothing. When I come into a place of joy, every part of my multiverse experiences some aspect of my joy. When I go into a place of sadness or horror or anger, every part of the multiverse experiences some aspect of my horror or sadness or anger. I play a part in this all that is. I'm so mindful of the part that you play in this all that is. That is from this place of abundance, this place of abundant light that has filled us this morning. Let us consciously send that light, that love, that peace right across the multiverse to the furthest ends of the multiverse, an end that we cannot even imagine in our own hearts and minds. But let's send it out anyway, whether we call it infinity or beyond infinity. We send out this light, this love, this peace, contributing to the healing of our world. We don't have to know the mechanics. We just need to know that we have the potential to heal the world, to heal the multiverse. I live in a world of duality. I live in a world of separation. And we wrestle with both sides of this life. May we become more aware, not only of the dyads, but even more aware of our oneness, our connectedness. And so we pray we may have the inner strength and awareness to pass through the things that are temporal, that are separate, that we lose not the things that are eternal, that are whole, being always mindful of the light in the darkness, and knowing that there's darkness in the light, and that the two must grow together until the end of all that is. Amen. And this morning we continue our reading, and our reading is from Matthew's Gospel, verses 1 to 10. Blessed are you, says Jesus, when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. You are the salt of the earth. But if salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but is thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the stand, the lampstand. And it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Here ends the reading.
We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching. Oh, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching. Oh, we are marching in the light of God. We are living 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 in the light of God. We are living, oh, we are living in the light of God. We are living, oh, we are living in the light of God. We are loving 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 in the light of God. We are loving, oh, we are loving in the light of God. We are loving, oh, we are loving in the light of God. We are marching 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 in the light of God. We are marching, oh, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, oh, we are marching in the light of God.
Today, Friday, we come again to all of our journeys, all of that we've been doing over the months, every day that we live, we add to all that has gone before. In a sense, we are the sum total of everything that we have been through, everything that we have seen, everything that we've known, whether in this existence or in previous existences. We are a accumulation of all that, and we continue to grow, we continue to add. So with each week, we add to ourselves. The thing for us to be concerned about or aware of is to be sure that what we are adding to ourselves is of use for us in the times to come. Now, when we say that, being conscious of the fact that we live in this dualistic world, and remembering our talk yesterday morning about walking the path and recognizing the experiences on either side. Some we may call good, some we may call bad. So as we journey on and as we add to ourselves, the important thing for us is to be sure that we don't add the experience, but that we add what we learn from the experience. So oftentimes we add the experience, whether it be good or whether it be bad. So if we add the good experiences, then we journey through our life looking only for good experiences and being totally destroyed when something that is not good occurs. If we go through our lives dragging our bad experiences, then we are lifeless. We are not even able to recognize when goodness is in our face. We see the world as drudgery and we can't wait to finish and to get out of it. But if we perceive ourselves as the I am, journeying through life, collecting that which is beneficial from the experiences that we are having, then it is a different story. Because in the good or the bad experience, there's something to learn. There's some jewel, there's something that we can hold on to that can help us to journey forward and to be able to carry something of worth with us forward. So this is the soul's journey. The soul's journey is to have these experiences. Yes, both good and bad, but it is not to drag experiences. It is to take from the experience that which was intended for the soul to receive. Jesus gives some wonderful words this morning in this particular passage. He tells those who are with him about the reality of being reviled, being persecuted. And he says, rejoice. Rejoice when you find yourself being persecuted, because somehow that means that you are in the right space, because that's what they did with the prophets. I was in a conversation yesterday and we were speaking about the prophets, and someone made the remark that don't forget, the prophet is always killed, right? They always go after the prophet. That's a part of being a prophet. And I think the person made a point to say that don't only look at the nice components that we are romanticizing about, but to realize that there is that dimension of it as well that one has to always keep in one's mind. Jesus goes on to tell the listeners that, you are the salt of the earth. You're the salt of the earth. And you've got to ensure that you don't lose your saltiness. Because when you lose that, it can't be restored. When salt has gone out, it can't be restored. And this is important because we have to remember the value of who we are and whose we are. And we can't let anything take that away from us. We can't let any of life experiences take away that essence. Whether that be something that's wonderful or whether it is something that is tragic. We can't and we mustn't allow any of life to reduce us to being a pawn in life, something that is used by life. No, we are the crown. And I don't mean that in the sense that we are the crown, we can do anything with creation. That's not what we're saying, not if we are understanding ourselves from a spiritual place. But we must understand that all these things are here to serve us. So when the horrible things come, they are to serve us. When the great things come, they are to serve us. We must not lose our saltiness. We must not lose ourselves by these things that occur in the world. We must not let them reduce us to nothing. Because as Jesus says, when it is no longer salt, it is good for nothing. It is thrown out and it is trampled underfoot. And we perhaps know this only too well. How easily it is for persons to lose themselves and become as nothing. They're just there. At the end of their lives or towards the later years of their lives, they're just a shadow of themselves because they've allowed themselves to be taken in by the various things that they were journeying through. Sometimes we allow ourselves to be taken in by our successes, and we are all about our success. We are all about our careers. And then it comes a time when we realize that, well, I'm nothing more than my career. I'm nothing more than my successes. I am empty. I've lost my saltiness. And it's too late to recover it. He uses the analogy of light. And he says, you don't light a lamp and put it on a bushel basket. You put it on a lampstand. Because the light is not to serve a limited group. The light is for the world. And you know the beautiful thing about light is that when you light something, the light, even as an infinitesimal spot, goes right across the world. Right across the world. And even though it may not be perceived as benefiting the fellow that's down the road, there is a possibility that as long as that individual is in line of sight, he can see the light. Light is phenomenal. It travels. It doesn't stop. We may no longer be able to perceive it, but it doesn't stop. When light goes out, it goes out. And I don't mean go out in Beijing terms of going out. I mean when it leaves its source and it radiates and radiates for eternity. We know this in the stars, because we know that sometimes when we see movement in the stars or in the skies, we know that that light that we are seeing probably started millions of years ago, and it is only now reaching us, because that object is so far away from us, and it's taken millions of years to get here. So light doesn't go out. Light doesn't it doesn't disappear. It continues. Light continues on and on and on. And so when Jesus uses that for us, I guess within the context of the day, they would have understood it in a particular way, but we can understand it even in a greater capacity at this point in time, because we understand from our knowledge of science what light really is and how it operates, and the fact that it is waves, and those waves are eternal. So listen again to Jesus' message and see what a powerful message it is about who you are and who I am. You are the light of the world. No one puts a light after it's lit under a bushel basket, but on a lampstand. And they put it on a lampstand that all in the house may see. It gives light to everyone. Our light gives light to everyone. Not just in our physical house, but in this house of existence. So let your light shine before others, that they may receive that goodness. And as they receive that goodness, they will be filled with the goodness of God. Because that is our supreme purpose, to be filled with the goodness of God. I trust that as you come to the end of this week, that you may recall these words of Jesus and allow that light to shine within your life, within your heart, and to give great glory to the one who has called you into being.